what was once a race thing isn't a race thing anymore. It's a need for LA to be more developed.
For
you
who?
know? For everyone. I'm Dominique. I am 27 and I'm a realtor in LA.
My name is Lourdes. I'm 20 years old and I am a student.
I'm Rob and I'm 27 and I'm a writer.
My name is Terrance. I'm 26, transplant, and I work currently for security at LAX.
I'm Dominique Wright. I'm 32 and I don't know what my employment status is, so I can't really tell you about that.
Can I get my LA locals on the left and my LA transplants on the right? The first statement. People have the right to live where they choose.
In like the purest, most distilled form of that question, I would definitely agree.
Right.
That if you are able to live somewhere and you know, are willing to live there and not just, because I think there's a difference between occupying and living. I think, if you're,
And actually being a participant.
want to be part of this
Right,
community,
exactly.
if you want to contribute, if you want to, really live there.
It's kind of like freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, but there are negative connotations that could happen from you saying something. Just as if you move somewhere, there could possibly be damaging effects, even though you have no ill intent at all. Right. Something could happen where you moved in here, all your homies and friends moved there, and everyone's here now, and then the people who were there first can't even go.
I think what I perceived in that question was just like your absolute mobility and moving like wherever you want without like the repercussions of like, for say you're moving into this space that has a lot of history and your presence is like, could be quite possibly oppressive to the pre-existing community.
I enjoy returning to the place where I grew up.
I wasn't sure because I still live in the place I grew up, so.
My hometown is in Massachusetts, which is very different from Los Angeles, and so I miss some of the seasonal things about it for sure.
Yeah, we don't have seasons here.
No, you never get winters or falls like we do up there. The town where I grew up, my parents only chose that place because the taxes were really high there, but it all went to like the good school systems. When my sister and I left, they sold the house, and I know it's hard for my sister because we can't really go back home in that sense.
I'd say living in Echo Park my whole life, while I'm living there, I see it changing right before my eyes. Yeah. And it's this like weird experience where you see the people you grew up with saying, oh, I can't afford this rent. I have to move over like 30 miles away. And I think that's one major thing that gentrification does, and it really makes people lose their sense of like belonging and community building, and to uproot people,
Me being nomadic in nature, I'm a military kid. I've grown up in so many different places. It's not where I grew up, it's who was there. Most of my family has moved, and most of my friends have moved away from where I grew up in Michigan. Also, I kind of grew up in a very bad neighborhood. It wasn't the greatest. The high school that I went to wasn't the greatest. So it's hard when I go back there and then I see those things. I'm reminded of how I grew up.
I totally hear that, and being from central Pennsylvania, and I never really felt like I belonged there from whenever I was very young, I feel like Pennsylvania made me, but LA really made me, Like, I'm from there, but I feel like this is where I became who I am.
There are things about the city that I love. Like, I would not want to die anywhere else. But there are so many things that have changed in the city. So just imagine being 30 and seeing people that you grew up with not being able to afford an apartment on a street where the rent shouldn't be no more than $1,200. I guess I haven't been away for a long period of time to say I miss it, just because I'm just in it every single day.
The history of a place is more important than its economic status?
I'm gonna rock with yeah, I think it is.
I'm joining you.
The almighty dollar has erased our history, and we have to preserve it, or we're gonna just repeat the same history.
Exactly, we learn from history.
Exactly.
And so how are we going to move forward in a society if we don't recognize
Our history,
and our
exactly.
history?
You know, you see like a city like Detroit, right, where that city has so much history, especially with the U.S.'s economy. Took a city that was so bustling to somewhere where there are many parts of the cities that I hear are like no man's land. With reinvigoration, I think also comes job opportunities. You know, it keeps the community like up and moving and bustling. You just have to find your space.
I grew up in Michigan, so like I have family from Detroit. Like that's real. Like Motown is like that's my roots. Like they still have like museums there that are set up. The Fox Theater, like I still remember going there as a kid.
I've
like
heard about the
like
Fox
it's amazing. Like being there, like it's so crazy.
So how would you feel if they tore that down, though?
It'd be like someone taking a piece of my heart and just like putting it on the floor, like for real.
They're trying to tear down the Crenshaw Mall and make it to be like the Grove, which I think is
We don't need another.
a terrible idea, just because the people that are living in that area, they're not going to be able to afford luxury lofts.
That doesn't
So-
cater to the pre-existing community. and
Right.
that's-
I have to say, I have to disagree because I actually work a lot in that area. So I work with people who flip houses. And I think it depends who in that area you're speaking to. Because, you know, I meet a lot of owners in that area, and for them, they're loving it. You know?
I bet they are.
Yeah,
I bet they are.
But
you
the
know-
renters are not.
Yeah, well, and you know, but also some renters, because now it's becoming more walkable. What was once a race thing isn't a race thing anymore. It's a need for LA to be more developed.
For
you
who?
know,
For
for
who?
everyone.
Everyone deserves a place to call home.
It depends.
I don't think you need it, deserve it, for sure. Every child growing up to an adult deserves to have something called home, but for me, home is here. It's not like down the block on 31st. It's just like where I'm at, that's home.
Some people want to move around or don't mind it or actually take something good from it, but other people are very comfortable in where they are.
I think it can be a state of mind, a state of being. I think home absolutely is a feeling more than a location. And I think it's something that evolves too at different stages of life. I had moved from one and then kind of found one again when I went to college, and then now I'm just sort of wondering, like, I'm realizing I have to build it, you know.
I think that the word deserve is tough because, you know, I think that people deserve what they create for themselves. There are some people who are just dealt a bad hand, you know, and that is not included in this. If you're not putting in as much work as I am, why do you deserve the same thing that I have?
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the same knowledge or the same empathy you might have. So, not saying it's your job or it's your duty, but sometimes because that person may not have that knowledge, what you might tell them might be able to be the spark to change their mentality so they can go out there and do what you suggest. But they deserve to have something. When you feel like you don't have anything, you know, most of the time you're either going to do something bad or you're going to hurt yourself.
See, some people take that and they use that to become something even bigger and better.
And that's
you know
great
what I
for
mean?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know how to do that.
If someone's parent doesn't teach them those things, why is it then your responsibility to pick up for the parents?
It's not. It's just more of a moral thing.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I feel like home looks so different to everybody.
Right.
How does someone else having a home really affect mine at all? Like I'm trying to think about like people who just need the basic necessities. Like, I'm not saying every person needs a 4-floor high-rise. Like I think that it's possible that everyone has some sort of home stability, some kind of starting point, and then everyone else can go up from there. I don't see why there should be an issue about someone struggling just to live in their own place. Like, I'm not making that correlation, and I don't know, maybe that's just me, and I might not be as versed in the economic and the housing market as you, but I don't see why every single person should not be able to be inside somewhere.
I think we as a whole have gotten away from empathy and have latched onto apathy. Because it's easy to say, well, I did it, so you can do it.
No, but, and I know people have different situations and they come with different weights on their shoulders and whatnot, but I think that really the issue that everybody's kind of touching on is that everyone deserves education. Everyone deserves to know what they can do and how they can arm themselves to be able to, you know, have a home and to create more. I think that it's important for people to take responsibility for the direction that their life takes. You know, once you decide to do that and it stops being about what's happening to you and instead what you're doing, you know, it can change everything for you.
We have to be mindful that apathy is roaming the streets right now and it's ready to kill everybody. And we have to get it away from us and make sure that we put goodness and kindness in our heart and we're able to express that and give to others.
Thank you guys, that's a wrap.
It's hot in here. I hugged. I was like, wait, that dude's from Florida, right?
What, the person who said that? You know, he was from there.
Hey guys, this is John from Jubilee. Thanks for watching this episode of Middle Ground. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below and also what other topics you'd like to see in an episode of Middle Ground. Please be sure to click subscribe and remember to live greater.